On the 6th of August 1791, the Brandenburg Gate was opened, one of the world's best known symbols, a symbol of Germany, of partition, of not just Berlin, but all of Europe. At its origin, as today, it was a symbol of peace and tolerance, but it was also used by the Nazis and their communist successors as a sign of intolerance. It was originally built by Frederick William II of Prussia and designed by Carl Gotthard Langhans, the Court Superintendent of Buildings. Langhans wanted to create something like an Athens on the Spree, and the Brandenburg Gate is based upon the gateway to the Acropolis in Athens. It was constructed on the site of guardhouses between 1788 and 1791. The gate is 1,026 centimetres high and has 12 Doric columns, 6 to each side. There are 5 walkways through the gate. The gate is topped by a chariot drawn by 4 horses and was first named the Peace Gate. The gate is of course often associated with armies marching, and the first one to do so was the French army, and Napoleon took the horse-drawn chariot back to Paris with him. The Prussians got it back after Napoleon was defeated for the first time. Other military marches through the gate include the victory marches after the campaigns against France in 1871 and 1940, as well as the rather pathetic march of the Home Guard, Volkssturm, organised by Goebbels in 1944. It was also the location of a torchlight procession on the night of the 30th of January 1933, when Hitler was appointed Chancellor. The Soviets also used it in their propaganda posters, with slogans exhorting their troops to victory with an image of a gate somewhat similar to that of the Brandenburg Gate. The gate survived the bombing and the battle for Berlin, although it was somewhat damaged, mainly from street fighting in this area. Following World War II, Berlin was divided, but until the 13th of August 1961, citizens of East Berlin could travel and vice versa. On that day, the city was cut in two by the construction of the wall. The gate found itself almost directly on the border, just inside East Berlin. The symbol of a divided Europe was the backdrop for speeches by US Presidents Kennedy and Reagan. Kennedy announced that he was a sausage. Ich bin ein Berliner! He should have said, Ich bin Berliner, but never mind, the crowd understood. On 12th of July 1987, Reagan memorially asked Mr. Gorbachev to tear down this wall. The crossing point was permanently closed the day following the commencement of the construction of the wall, and remained so until the 22nd of December 1989, when the first person to cross was Helmut Kohl, the West German Chancellor, who was met on the eastern side by Hans Modrow, the East German Prime Minister. The wall was pulled down here in 1990. I was there in April 1990. I wish I'd been as keen on filming things then as I am now, because the only record I have of this event is in my memory. Traffic no longer passes under the Brandenburg Gate, and the Parisierplatz to the east is a pedestrian zone which, flanked by the Adeln Hotel and the French Embassy, does somewhat give the area the feel of the beginning of the 20th century. And today, you can walk right through it as though it were never the second most closely guarded border in the world. Now, how about that for an achievement?